The only thing I'll say is try to not hurt. Try to not to be too sarcastic.
Kena main time.
To be fair, I wasn't really much of a weeb back then, but because of you, I started to delve deeper into the anime life.
Lies.
Hey, my first event, you brought me there.
First event, yes, but being a weeb, lies. It's impossible. That is a true. That is a lie. Okay, here's the thing about weebs. We will know one of our kind just by looking at them.
It is in the blood.
We just look at them, and then all we do is just say one word or just say something like, "Do you watch anime?"
I'm actually a librarian back then, so I always have to wear my tie. Every time after school, I would take it off and wrap my hand as if there's a curse on it. And we actually play around.
And then there's me, will pick up a random stick at the corner and then be like, "Sa, iko, pokenda." The thing is that you never grow up. From this kind of things, you will never grow up. It became a part of you. Yes, you be mature. That's one thing. You be more mature on your decisions and the way you talk and everything. But you will never grow up from it because it's something that's already embedded in you. But when cosplay event started at that time and I had my first experience of it, it became like a place where I feel like I can be more free. I can be myself.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, the current cosplay community is actually not that bad, but they're more towards fame-ish. Well, back then when in his time when cosplaying was more, let's just enjoy. I was one of the kids that got strict parents. So I would tell you that if I actually stayed in that school and then I stayed with you, I might actually go into cosplay because I was already I had plans. Honestly, I had plans during that high school time when he brought me to my first convention. It was amazing. And that time they actually showed fan-made trailers of animes, and everyone, it was so hype. It was super hype, and that's the thing that I miss the most in conventions nowadays because we don't really have that anymore.
Yeah.
And when I moved out, I started thinking seriously. I was in my science stream, and it just got to a point where I can't see myself in cosplay anymore. I was just too stressed about my stuff. I jumped straight to engineering. Engineering took a heck load of things. I even stopped drawing, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Reality hits you hard when you actually faced it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to sketch. I was really good at art back then, but once I started engineering, everything's like, yeah. I learned aviation. Even my drawing skills flew away. It was bad. So instead of going for cosplaying, I decided to dive into gaming. So it's still part of ACG, but not ACG. And honestly, because of that deep impact that you gave me, honestly, is the reason why I stick with ACG. No matter how tiny it is, how tiny the job is, I start being volunteers and all. And really, that's what got me into this job in the first place. The job that I currently have is because it's ACG. And yeah, I think that was the main reason. I started thinking realistically. Having a strict parent does that to you, lah. Like what I'm doing now, I don't care about what other people think of me. Like even you can talk bad about me, I don't care anymore because I'm doing something that I love. And back then is the same thing. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of people were looking at this and were like, "Apa gila diorang ni?"
Being a weeb is kind of like an adventure. So, example that one time where his car got broke down. His car got broke down, and then there was no food or water.
We're like, "Oh, we're hungry." And Taka will be like, "Let's go on an adventure."
No,
and he actually left the car.
No, do you watch Yakitaki Japan?
Yeah.
And you watch Cooking Master Boy,
Of course.
correct? So you know basic ingredients you can cook, right? So those anime actually teach you how to cook. So actually, I use that skill itself in my camping. So it actually teach you as well. And even some animes also, they actually teach you how to survive in the wilds. and how to not attract bass, so all those kind of things, you know. So except for the part where it's not supposed to be seen, the author themselves, the creator themselves, actually put some thoughts on realism inside the story, so that way people can understand.
You hear that, friends, families? Animes are educational.
It can be educational, but to the extreme. So find a proper anime. Don't show them.
Rehealer.
don't show them like One Piece. You can teach them about friendship, but not that kind. I'm a total otaku, no joke. I've watched even till today latest animes as well, so I can be like almost like a Malaysian anime man.
If you come to anyone who likes anime, we will give you a whole list to a point where you can't even finish watching. We don't even judge people.
Yeah,
like if they have their own preferences, it's fine. I mean, why segregate?
But in terms of popping a bubble, like example of trying to ruin your life as a weeb, there is a few that happens before. There's a lot that saying that you're in your own world. That's one of it. So stop being a kid. You're an adult. You know, that kind of thing.
I have a cousin that did that with me.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, why are you watching cartoons? Stop being such a small kid. Be a grown up." He's watching anime with me nowadays.
I have a friend of mine before, and he knows that I love anime. I watch Tokusatsu and everything, and I also know the words and stuff. Even remember the scene, even the opening music, the ending music, those kind of things.
Discuss with him is
He calls me a weeb. It's like, oh, you're a weeb. I'm like, no, I'm an otaku. What's an otaku? I was so shocked that that word was no longer exist inside the dictionary.
it becomes an insult, lah, honestly.
But to be honest, in terms of
But we don't care.
Yeah.
We're using it freely, positively.
Because
it is.
in Japan, otaku is kind of like a bad term. But in overseas, like America and everything, otaku is something like people who are knowledgeable in this Japanese culture, really knowledgeable. So we consider ourselves as otaku.
We consider ourselves as a culture.
Yeah, we're cultured weebs. Cultured weebs. So it's much more easier to call people these days weebs, right? So that's why we were like, okay, well, you want to call me weeb, it's fine, but I would consider myself as an otaku.
What kind of advice would you tell to people who are like embarrassed of their passion, like those who do want to go to cosplay, who do like to enjoy anime but is so shy about it, like your nephews, your niece and nephews, like mine too, actually.
You only live once. You can always try. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel like you're the useless person inside the room because you're not improving, but at least you try. And then if you try harder to improve it, you might get somewhere. It's okay to start slow. Everybody has its own pace. There's a word in Genshin Impact that implements a lot. That by the voice line from Zhongli. All right, the words is, yes, I remember this word perfectly. And this word is exactly what I'm trying to say here. Okay, and the word is, every journey has its final day. Don't rush. Like for me, yes, it's already worth it to go into this journey, even though it has so much pain and misery, but it has become part of you. And you can implement it in many ways. So that's the only advice I can say to people who wants to join in the cosplay. You want to be a streamer? Give it a try. Why not? It will start slow for sure, but sooner or later people will start to reach you. There's always a way to do it. You can promote yourself, you can market yourself, depending how you like. You want to be a cosplayer? There's many ways to do it. What kind of cosplayer do you want to be? You want to be the armor type who wears armors in cool craft armors and stuff? Or do you want to be those cosplay who dress up as those really mainstream characters with incredible makeups and everything? You can. It's just try.
Things that triggers you during cosplay.
3 things that would trigger me during cosplay events, or just cosplayers?
For cosplays lah.
Not acting as a character. I have been in this field for more than 15 years.
For me, is the worst one will be those who are judging by their size.
Yes. Body shaming is another thing I don't like. I don't like in terms of body shaming. Yes, I have gained weight. So what? I still can do what I like and be what character I like. Maybe I don't look good in terms of makeups and everything. But shaming a person just because they don't look like the character is the worst thing you can do. Mostly normies. And social media does that a lot. But to be honest, these people put passion. They put their time. They want to have fun. They want to be with these people. That's the only thing they want to do. But people from outside, from the community themselves, and sometimes even in the community itself, shaming. I hate shaming. Even if it's on the social media or even in real life. Like example, like you're fat or you're ugly or those kind of things really, I would say that's the first thing I would get triggered a lot. These days I see a lot of cosplayers just cosplay. They're just basically dressing up as the character, not portraying the character.
Imagine Terminator coming to you. Instead of I'll be back, it's become I'll be back. that break character, that just, it ruins the whole image. And that's how it is when it comes to cosplay. If you're not in character, that's just how it is.
Try to be in character as much as possible. Lagi-lagi if you're performing on stage. If you don't bring up the vibe, people just see, oh, it's just another performance. I think the only difference is right now is they're very sarcastic. Because I know he doesn't really care, because what he say is the truth. So that's why it's good. But sometimes it can be very hurtful. So yeah, try not to be too sarcastic. That's the only thing I ask for. Because in terms of his personality and everything, he's fine. That's why I don't really care much about that. There's like nothing much. Like for me, I think he's okay with me except for the part that like he said that I tend to give up a lot. Because give up in terms of like things I like and love. And I have to put it aside. I won't really say I'm giving it up. I'm just taking a break from it.
Yeah, but sometimes those breaks are just too long, bro.
Oh, trust me, it takes 2 to 3 years sometimes.
Exactly. Sometimes it's just too long.
Hey, it's a good thing, There's a thing in cosplay. I let you know something in terms of cosplay. If you're taking a break in cosplay for 2 to 3 years and you're someone that you've been well known, example like you are a senpai in the cosplay community, if you take a break for 2 to 3 years, only the old people that are still in the community will know you. But people who don't know you, they're fresh. Taking a break in cosplay is fine. Literally it's fine. Don't be like me lah, the 2 to 3 years. But usually when they say 2 to 3 years, it's a reset year. So everything be resetted.
No,
so
you know what? Because this brother doesn't say you take a break. What do you say? What do you say? Tell the world what do you say? I retired.
I retired in terms of performance. Okay, this is something more personal. I've been in this community a very long time. And I know a lot of cosplayers in this community will stop where I am, or even before. They have gone to their next journey in life, building a family and etc. But to be honest, I did thought of that so many times already, to be honest. But to be honest, it never get out of me. Like, do I want to really retire in terms of cosplay? But in terms of why I retired is because I had too much things. Like I said just now, there was too much things in my plate. I have work. My work life has been very piling up. So as you grow bigger and in more responsible, you get no time for this kind of thing. That's one. And also life itself, there's a lot of things you need to consider because you're not getting any younger, bruh. You're getting older. You're gonna be Gandalf soon.
Yeah. And overworking doesn't help.
Yes, exactly. So that's why it can accumulate stress. So I don't want, and stress is the thing that I don't really like, because once you become stressed, you become toxic. And when you become toxic, you will tend to put that toxicity to other people. This is where communities start to be toxic, putting your own opinion into others. So that's why when I see myself getting into that position, I told to myself that I want to stop. So that's why I'm taking a break. I'm taking a retirement. I'm taking a retirement in terms of not performing on stage. not becoming a guest.
But that's the thing. That's not what retirement means, bro.
No, I'm literally that. To be honest, no. In terms of cosplay, that is still a passion. Means I can still go to event and dress up. I didn't really say I'm retiring in cosplay entirely. I'm basically saying that I'm retiring in cosplay in terms of the things I do. And the people who knows me very well, I perform a lot. I join cosplay competitions a lot and everything. So that it has become my retirement. So I literally say to people, that is my retirement. To be honest, my friends say, do not join cosplay competition anymore. Because the last time I went to cosplay competition, the judges said, please do not join cosplay competition anymore. There's a lot of reason why they say.
Because you were too good.
Yeah. So they say instead try to make a group and become a cosplay group performer.
The way he performs is good, is freaking good to a point where if he goes to any competition, he'll win straight away.
Yeah.
It's a hands down win.
Cosplay performance is one way for me to distress myself because I'm able to perform as the character I want and show it to people. And how would I portray it in the story? Like how you will write your own novel or fanfic, that kind of thing. I did once. Hashtag disclaimer here that I actually told to the organizers if I were to be in first place or any top 3, no prize. Give it to the others. I'm just there to perform.
Well, the reason why I'm in whatever I'm doing now is that for that I am able to support. So when we're together, I'm definitely gonna be the guy that supports you.
Aww.
Well, it's not like I haven't done it before.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he's been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy.
So I can't really say much.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'm actually quite worrisome in the future, because this is a thing, once you stay together very long time, you don't talk to each other. Because I have housemate before and they are also cosplayers and stuff. When you stay together for a very long time and you guys have different type of jobs, all right? Yeah. So once we're at the house, before this, the early years is very nice because you will always hang out after work. You hang out and have nasi lemak 60 sen and Milo ice dalam mangkok. Those kind of things. Until 12 a.m., those kind of things. Youth. But once you get older, like very old, okay, when you really reach to the point in life, you are actually housemates still, like example 10 years, that kind of thing. You won't talk to each other and then you start to do your own things. And then the worst thing ever you can do, even though you're a housemate, is not informing. Because I prefer if we have communications more inside the house. And then example, like I like to hang out with people in the house. For example, like if I were to have a housemate, like example cosplayers and stuff, with somebody I'm close with, I would hang out with that person every single time, for sure.
Dude, we're not worried about that. We're planning on making like a gaming session at the living room.
Yeah. That's for sure.
We're gonna make a gaming lounge in the living room. It's gonna be a good time, man.
Yeah. But the thing is that imagine that one day those things not happening, those kind of thing, and then imagine that you're hanging out with someone else instead of your own housemate. Yeah, the feeling of neglection is like the feeling of breaking up.
Okay, I can assure you that's not going to be a problem. One, because I don't really have that many friends because I choose not to. Two, I'll try to invite everyone.
I will probably invite everyone too. But that's the
only time that I won't invite you to hang out with me is when I'm going dating.
No, you just
you know when.
Yeah. You just need to tell me like, oh, I'm this, and then okay.
Yeah.
Good enough really for me.
But it's always that balance lah. Honestly, it's just that balance.
I'm just worried in terms of that because, every single time when you start to work and there's no communication in the house, that's why when you're living your family and stuff, and you have communication with family, it's something that you can talk about. Like, talk about your day, that kind of thing. But I don't know. When that is no longer inside in terms of the housemate and there's no hangout lepak session after 3 a.m. that kind of thing. Teh tarik 3 a.m. Talking session, kopitiam.
Teh tarik ke?
No. Me and Word. Kopitiam. teh tarik 3 AM. Alright? 3 AM, teh tarik.
You and me teh tarik ke?
So anyway,